Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video. Today we're taking a look at the Inferno Tower, which is making a pretty big comeback recently, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But here's the deck I'm using today. Let's go ahead, take a look at a couple replays, and then we'll finish off in a live battle. So here we are, guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed up the footage just a little bit here, because both of us waited quite a while to do our opening plays. Now, like I said before, the Inferno Tower is making a huge comeback recently, and that's simply because of the rise of the Giant strategy. The Giant is extremely strong right now, and a lot of people are using some sort of form of a Giant deck, and the Inferno Tower is a really strong counter to the Giant, so it makes sense that a lot of people would start switching to the Inferno Tower instead of using something like a cannon. Now, right here, I've got some decent right lane pressure, gonna do a split push on the opposite side with a Hog Rider, and fortunately for me, my opponent uses the Electric Pump at the exact same time, so that Hog Rider is going to do some work for me, doing a good amount of damage to that tower, bringing it down to 1100 health. Now, when you're using the Inferno Tower, there are two main weaknesses to it. One being the Zaspel, which resets the attack timer of the Inferno Tower, and that's actually why I have the Goblin Barrel in this deck, for two reasons. One, I can either go in with the Goblin Barrel earlier on and force my opponent to waste their Zaspel, and that way, when they set up an offense, they won't have the Zaspel available, or if they use their Zaspel to attack the Inferno Tower on an offense, then that gives me an opportunity to go later on with the Goblin Barrel. Now, the second weakness of the Inferno Tower is spam troops. Stuff like Goblins, guards, or the Minion Horde are all really strong against the Inferno Tower, and that's why I have both the Fireball as well as the Valkyrie in this deck. Now, unfortunately, just a few moments ago, I wasted the Fireball in that tower, and I should have saved it, because that Minion Horde was able to distract my Inferno Tower for so long, and the P.E.K.K.A. is still alive with a lot of health left. Now, unfortunately, I got a little bit greedy earlier on. I saw the pump next to the tower, and I went ahead and used the Fireball on that. But, like I said before, the reason the Fireball is in this deck is to take out stuff like the Minion Horde to protect the Inferno Tower, and the reason the Valkyrie is in this deck is because a lot of people use guards with a Giant strategy, and the guards will actually run in front of the Giant and protect it from a Inferno Tower. So having the Valkyrie there will be able to take out all the guards pretty quickly, allowing the Inferno Tower to lock onto the Giant. Now, we have a 1 crown lead so far, thanks to that sneaky Goblin Barrel that I used in the corner, forcing my opponent to miss his arrows. The Goblins actually snuck in there while the tower was distracted by the Hog Rider. Now, all I have to do for the last 25 seconds or so is defend, and I should be able to hold up for the 1 crown victory. My opponent coming with a pretty aggressive P.E.K.K.A. Prince push on the right-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and use the Goblins as well as the Goblin Barrel to distract both that Prince as well as the P.E.K.K.A. If you have to use the Goblin Barrel on defense, it only costs 3 elixir, so it's actually a pretty good idea in some situations. Now, here we are with 4 seconds left. I do get the 1 crown victory. Let's go ahead to the next replay. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 10 as a level 8. Now, he's using your typical Giant poison strategy with the Ice Wizard, the Mini P.E.K.K.A., the Musketeer, as well as the Electric Pump. As you can see right there, my reaction to facing off against a level 10 opponent as a level 8. Now, he's going to go ahead and start doing a slow push on the left-hand lane with an Ice Wizard, so I'm going to counter it with my level 6 Musketeer in the back behind my King Tower, and I'm going to try and set up a push here with the Valkyrie up front, and then try and send in the Hog Rider as well. He drops his own Musketeer to support his Ice Wizard, so as soon as the Ice Wizard gets closer to the bridge, that's when I'm going to go ahead and use the Valkyrie, and because he also used a pump, I'm going to try and sneak in my Hog Rider. Now, take a look at what I do right here. I actually use the Goblins to pull the Mini P.E.K.K.A. back away from the Hog Rider, and that's going to save the Hog Rider and allow him to do a ton of damage. Goblin Barrel going down because I know my opponent just wasted his Zaspel, and as a result, we have an early 1 crown lead over somebody that's 2 levels higher, which is always a good thing when you have a 1 crown lead within less than a minute into the battle. Now, unfortunately, I make a pretty big mistake right here that actually ends up costing me a whole tower because of one simple mistake. I hit 10 elixir, gonna go ahead and use the Fireball to damage that tower as well as the pump, and I could have hit the Musketeer as well, and if you guys know, a Fireball combined with a Zaspel actually takes out a Musketeer. So take a look at how much damage this one Musketeer does by herself, knowing that I could have taken her out with that Fireball. So she's taking out the Inferno Tower. Now, normally that Inferno Tower would have taken out the Giant, but the Musketeer was in the back doing so much damage, and she's still alive with 1 health left. My Musketeer and my tower are distracted by the Miner. That single Musketeer by herself probably did over 2,000 damage to my tower, which really sucks knowing that I could have hit her with that fireball. And if you noticed earlier, I did end up using the Zap spell on her, so she would have died if I hit her with that fireball, so really unfortunate. Now he's coming in here on the right hand side with an Ice Wizard Musketeer push. Gonna go ahead and use my Valkyrie to take out the Ice Wizard and save some damage on my tower. Now given that there's about a minute left in this battle and my tower is sitting at 181 health, and I'm facing somebody that's 2 levels higher, I have to accept the reality that I'm probably going to lose that tower at some point in this battle. So I'm going to get ready for this defense, using that Musketeer on the right hand side. I'm not ready to go on the offense yet, because I know my opponent has a full bar of Elixir. Goblin's going down on the right hand side, then I'm going to get ready with the Inferno Tower as well, and just get ready for this giant defense that's coming. And then as soon as I can, knowing that I used that Zap spell, I'm going to try and go in on the left hand side with a Hog Rider Goblin Barrel push, and take a look at what happens next. Giant crossing the bridge with the Musketeer in the back, Inferno Tower targeting his Giant, but unfortunately my Inferno Tower is only level 6, which does make quite a bit of a difference just because of the way the Inferno Tower works. It takes a little bit of time to reach maximum DPS, so the extra 150 health that it would have being a level 7 means like 1 more second sitting at maximum DPS, which is something crazy like 1600 damage, so that would mean the difference between taking out that Giant or not taking it out. Now he's coming in here with another Giant push. I'm going to go in with an aggressive Hog Rider Goblin Barrel push because I know the Musketeer with both towers as well as the Valkyrie should be able to take out that Giant pretty quickly, and I also did a decent amount of damage to the King Tower. So right here, 2 Musketeers down with a Valkyrie up front. He's sitting in the Miner, but I'm actually going to ignore the Miner because it just does a little bit of chip damage, and I'm going to try and go for that 3-crown victory. Hog Rider up front, my opponent has no Elixir left to defend. Fireball going down with the Zap spell, taking out the Ice Wizard, and those 2 Musketeers finishing out the King Tower, giving me the 3-crown victory. Let's go ahead and do a live battle. So here we go, guys, facing off against a level 9, not too bad. Giving the all good luck. I mean, I would prefer facing off against another level 8 with equal card levels, but I will take a level 9 over a level 10. So let's do an immediate Valkyrie Hog Rider push. Have the Zap spell available. Let's zap this to save the Valkyrie some damage. But unfortunately, Valkyrie is only level 6, which is balanced against level 8 commons. So those level 10 commons are pretty strong against her. And that actually does make a pretty significant difference in the end, because it's probably the difference between that Valkyrie taking out all the barbarians and saving the Hog Rider or not. So let's see here. Maybe we can use a Goblin Barrel and force a Zap spell. Can we see that? If not, we're screwed. There we go. Thank you. That is what I wanted. And ooh, the freeze spell. That was not expected. Let's zap those Spear Goblins. But the freeze spell wasn't enough. And actually that Zap spell on those Spear Goblins probably was a waste. If I didn't use that, I probably would have had 2 more Elixir to support those Goblins on a counter push with a Hog Rider or something. So now that we know he has the freeze spell, we'll have to be careful and space out all of our stuff. Maybe we can do a Hog Rider. Yes, let's try it. Whatever. Hog Rider Fireball, please, please, please. No, the Sparky! Oh, that was a waste. Let's give him the crying face right there. That's probably going to cost me the battle right here. It is probably going to cost me the entire battle because... Ay, ay, ay. That was way too aggressive. I shouldn't have done that. No way. Can we surround? No, we cannot surround. Can we surround, please? Surround. No. Zap. Okay. So that was a pretty big fail right there with that Goblin drop. I was really hoping they would surround the Sparky in a triangle formation, and then the Wizard would only be able to hit one of them at once. But like I said, it was a pretty big fail. I ended up using all the Goblins in the back behind that Sparky, and the Wizard just one-shotted them, so kind of unfortunate. Now, he just wasted his Zap spell. Can we go ahead with this? Zap this. There we go. Get some stabs off. There we go. Doing some work for me, thank you. Let's fireball this Wizard in the back here. And let's go ahead and use this right here. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and use this Valkyrie right in the middle and take all that out, please. Thank you. We're going to keep these Barbarians back here because I want them staying away from my tower. Musketeer right here. There we go. So we might actually win this battle, even though I made a pretty big mistake right there. Let's do some stupid pressure on this lane right here. Force him to defend. And that way, even if he does take my tower, we got that tower on the left-hand side pretty low. But there we go, guys. Getting the victory. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.